Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Kiki with Shishi. I thought today I would try and get a Cancer Chronicle video out about the treatment that I'm doing at this time, which would be the second treatment. I don't normally film on chemo days, but for whatever reason I thought it was important for me to film today. I am in my office. Because it's over the garage, it's quite warm, so I apologize in advance if I sweat. I probably won't be in here too long because the heat makes me feel nauseous, and I already have some nausea, so those two things won't mix very well. But I'm going to try and get through the video of the treatment that I'm on now. Before I get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Come on in and get comfortable. Hit that subscribe button down to the bottom right. Like it so I know that at least people are able to get the information that I am putting out. It's helpful. If it's helpful for you, if you enjoyed it, if you chuckled, if you hated, whatever. And then if you have comments, questions, whatever, or thoughts, feel free to throw them down in the comments. I try to get back to everybody within 24 hours. So with that being said, I'll jump right into it. So you might hear this little whirl. This is Zeus. He is my 48-hour med pack or medication pack, and I will explain that to you in just a little bit. I'll explain to you what he does. I'll explain to you how he got his name. He makes a little bit of noise, so you'll hear him in the background a little bit. And then he's just connected via cord through my port, which is directly in my chest. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. So I'll talk about Zeus in a minute. But the next step in my treatment, so we started off with the Gemzar and the cisplatin, and that didn't necessarily work well for me. As a matter of fact, that treatment at the end of the 12th treatment, I ended up with a new tumor. So that happened right before Christmas. We went on our Christmas vacation. When we came back, they started us on Folfox. So they actually started us on the Folfox on my husband's birthday. So he's a trooper for doing that for me. I appreciate it. But Folfox, I have note cards because I don't want to forget anything. There's a lot of information, and somebody that's here to try and get information or try to understand the traits of this medication and how things are going to feel. I want them to be able to have that complete information. And those that are following me, I have a lot of family in different locations that are following me, and gracefully they watch this channel, so I don't have to repeat all this information over and over again. They do have some specific questions that they just ask me, but for the most part, they let me kind of word vomit on here, and then they understand where I am at that particular time in life. So, again, the system that I'm on is Folfox, and it is, I'm going to try and say these, but I probably will get them wrong, but I will put them down in the comment section. They are leucovorin, which is really Folinic Acid, so that's the FOL. Fluorouracil, that's the F, and then Oxaliplatin, so that's the OX. So Folfox is Folinic Acid, Fluorouracil, and Oxaliplatin. I think they say the Oxaliplatin is the strongest drug in that trio, and now that reminds me, I want to look and see exactly which drug this is. Okay. So it's made up of those three drugs. If you remember, the cancer that I have is the intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. In the cancer community, we call it just CC. This treatment is either referred to as Folfox or 5FU. 5 is because I think that there's a total of 5 medications that you actually go through when you do this treatment. The FU is probably a medical term, but us that are actually taking the treatment call it something else. And since my mom watches these, I won't tell you what else we call it, but I'm pretty sure she can figure it out, and I'm pretty sure she would agree. And those of you that maybe have had this Folfox would agree. So, it's a 12 cycle interval. Today I did the last in the 12 cycles, and because of my last scans where I don't have any growth or any shrinkage, I'm staying stable. The doctor has decided to start another round of these. I don't know if we're going to go 6 rounds or I don't know when she is going to do. The amount of rounds that I'll go this time is based on what my scans look like. And so I don't know if she's going to scan at 3 months, which would be roughly about 6 treatments, maybe 5 or 6 treatments, or if she's going to try and go further than that. We normally do about every 6th treatment to check and see what kind of progress we're making, or if we're staying stable. Staying stable was a blessing. Please don't get me wrong. It's a blessing not to grow a new one. It's a blessing for the one that I have, which is pretty large, not to get any bigger. It's a blessing that they're not new metastasis, which means the cancer hasn't rolled somewhere else in my body. So those are all a blessing. I am, now that I've adjusted to what I have, what's going on in my life, what's going on in my body, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. So it was great that I didn't have any growth and I'm stable, but my mind kept saying, what next? So I had asked the doctor to turn it up. We got to turn it up 2 rounds, maybe 3. And then some serious side effects kicked in, to which we ended up having to turn it back down. Excuse me. We'll see if that made a difference or not. So anyways, when you are getting the Folfox treatment, for me, it's about 6 hours of on-site clinic time or chemo time. They give me pre-drugs, which is Benadryl for allergies. The funny thing about Benadryl is I've had very, very bad allergies, or I had very, very bad allergies since I was a little girl. Eyes big, puffy, and swollen, itching. It was all pretty much right in my face. I've gone home from work at times where I just have scabs all over my face because I have just scratched my skin to the point of bleeding. So I had gotten to the point where I would take Benadryl and I would just take 2 in the morning and go to work and be able to function perfectly. And people and even doctors have been like, how do you do that? Well, I think that my body built up an adverse effect on it to where it would take care of the allergies, but it didn't affect me like it affects most people. So it didn't make me sleepy, it didn't make me tired, it just helped with allergies. Well, the Benadryl that they give me now is Benadryl through a syringe, so it is able to seep in my bloodstream faster. And now I have the normal effect of Benadryl to where it does help with any allergic reaction if I were to have any, but I spend pretty much most, if not almost all of my time in chemo and sleep, which I mean, that ain't quite a bad thing. But combined with the fatigue that I already have and the Benadryl, it is sometimes kind of nice just to rest. And the nurses are so nice. They don't make you feel bad if you snore. They don't really bother you a lot, wake you up a lot. They just come in and do what they got to do as gently and quietly as possible, and they let you rest. Because they understand that we end up with a lot of fatigue. We end up with, they understand that some of the drugs will also cause you some fatigues as well. So, some of the drugs that they give me within 6 hours, like I said, is Benadryl. For allergies, they give you maybe omeprazole or something to coat your stomach so those drugs don't cause ulcers or things of that nature, or if you have ulcers, they don't aggravate the already present ulcers. And most of those drugs are what they call push drugs. So they're basically, I have bags of saline, or some of the pre-drugs like the stomach coat are in a bag, just like an IV would be. And then some of these other smaller drugs, because of Hurricane Sandy that hit Puerto Rico, a lot of the medical supplies, bags and things like that have been damaged, and they're in low shortage. So when I say push drugs, that means they just loaded up all the drugs that I'm supposed to have, or a type of drug. It could be any that they switch off, and they just push it into one of my IV connectors, so it would just flow directly into my bloodstream. So there are times when I could have, like today I had 3 bags hanging. One was the Folinic Acid. One was the Oxaliplatin, I think. This is the Fluorouracil acid that's in my pump that's with Zeus. So the Oxaliplatin and the Fluorouracil would be drugs that are hanging in bags. I have normally a bag of saline because I always want them to try to not dilute the drugs, but to kind of start pushing those drugs through, so that I am not suffering more consequences or more things on the day of chemo. And then the other things, Benadryl, stomach coat, they have a couple other things that I can't remember right now that they just push through with the needle. Also, sometimes they have medications in like little balls. Again, it's due to the shortage, but it's like a little ball that has a filter in the middle. And so they put that ball attached to a syringe needle, and again, they just put it in one of your IV ports, because your IV will have all these little, normally they're blue, little spots where you can stick another drug or needle or whatever in there, and they just plug it into one of those. And so those medications, just the ball shrinks as some medications go into your body. So they also give you anti-nausea meds. So all those things altogether take about 6 hours to run through. After that 6 hours is over, they give you what they call a medication pack. It's a little like, sorry, the batteries fell out. It's a little like fanny pack that you would wear. I normally wear mine like a crossbody. Some people wear them around their neck. Some people wear them around their waist. The guy that I'm going to tell you guys about in a little bit, his wife would buy shirts from Walmart and would buy 2 of each, and she would sew him a pocket on the shirts so that he can just put his pack in the pocket. The pack is about 5 pounds. It will run for about 48 hours, slowly administering medication to me. So every time you hear that little whirling, it's giving off medicine. When I got the pack at the beginning of the year, there were 2 other ladies that were on the Folfox at this time, and the nurse at that time, she's gone. One of my favorite nurses, she said, well, you got to name your pack. And I was like, I don't know about all that. And one of the other ladies was like, no, you have to name it. You know, hers was George, and somebody else had some name on theirs. And I was like, okay, we'll see. So, funny thing, my sister has this little, I'm trying to figure out what the appropriate name is to say for this dog, because when he was here 2 weeks ago, he bit me in my toe, so I don't have an appropriate name for him. But anyways, he's a little bitty dog. He's maybe about a 7-pounder or whatever. So this pack reminded me of him. The funny thing is, for him to be so little, and I used to say he was a slow dog because he didn't bark at anybody, but his name is Zeus, so that was hilarious to me. And then when I said this pack reminded me of him, and for whatever reason my son came around the corner And I was like, this kind of reminds me of Zeus. And he's like, yeah, Zeus, the germ destroyer. And I was like, well, I guess we have a name. So this is Zeus. Sometimes I make a funny, my boyfriend follows me everywhere. He sleeps with me, goes to the bathroom with me, brushes his teeth with me, whatever. So, not bad. The things about Zeus is I tend to have night sweats. I think it's due to the chemo, and so I have to have them double tape my port connector, because if that needle comes out the wrong way, very painful. So tonight I'll probably put another tape over it. If not, night sweats. One night I woke up and like the tape was all here and barely holding on. Also in the middle of the night, for whatever reason, sometimes I forget Zeus is connected to me, and I'll get up and try to go to the bathroom, and it's like, oh, okay, wait, I'm connected. Remember. Or even sometimes I fall asleep in the restroom and get ready to get up and forget that he's there. So I tonight will put an extra tape across there so that that's just reinforced. It's just the thought of that coming out the inappropriate or the incorrect way, and scarring tissue and whatnot is just not my thing. And I don't want it to bleed a lot, because I kind of worry about loss of blood due to the fact that I'm anemic. Due to the fact that I'm anemic anyway. So let's talk about some of the side effects of the Folfox. The Folfox side effects are accumulative, which means that they can become worse over the amount of treatments. With that being said, don't worry. What I hear is that most of it corrects itself once the treatment is gone. Once you get a lot of the treatment out of your system. So those side effects for me have been mouth sores. Matter of fact, I had one 2 days ago on my cheek. I still have it's getting smaller, but I still have it. And then sometimes those mouth sores end up on my tongue. The ones on my tongue, no joke. I like spicy food. I was eating some ribs with the devil's spit barbecue sauce in it from Famous Days, and literally burned the bananas out of my tongue, and I could not figure it out. I was like, why is this so hot? I can't take it. The next day, I was in church, and I went to go chew some cinnamon gum. Painful. And then I recognized I had an open sore on my tongue, so that really stunk. The other things, cold aversions. Cold aversions has probably been one of my biggest one, because, again, my office and my closet are over the garage. When it's wintertime, these are like ice boxes, and when it's summertime, these are like ovens. So, and my husband moved my more frequent clothes to his part of the closet, which is outside of my closet, so that I didn't have to go into my closet to get clothes. So that was, I'm grateful for that. And then I don't come in my office much. He did just fix my heater air conditioning unit, so I can come in a little bit more, but I tend to stay downstairs and away from places where it's cold in the winter or hot in the summer. But the cold aversion includes, like when you go to the grocery store, grabbing a basket. Sometimes the metal is cold. I've gone to do grocery shopping, and picking up a vegetable that has been sprayed is cold and causes some issues. Can't really have a lot of cold air, so sometimes I battle with air conditioning on, off, low, high, whatever. Food, cold food. I ate a cold pear. My lip swole. And drinks. I have a trick to the drinks. I cannot drink lukewarm water. It makes me nauseous. I don't think it's something that my family understood. They I don't think it was being facetious, but trying to help me out. It was like, well, do you want us to microwave you some water? And I would just be like, I don't want warm water. I can't drink warm water. So, but I've learned that if you take a straw, it's kind of gross, but does a job. You take a straw. I go to the drive-thru. I order my drinks with no ice because the fountain drinks are pretty cold already, being in that refrigerated setting. So then I make sure I always get a straw. I take the straw and I put it as far back as I can get it without gagging, and I drink. I get a little bit of what feels like a bunch of paper cut feelings on my lip, just a little bit, not as much as I would get if I just drank straight from the cup, but and my throat kind of closes for about 15-20 seconds, but it's the things you would do to have an ice cold beverage. Trust me, in the summer, you want that. So then when I'm getting a little bit further out from my canter, I will cheat and just drink out of a cup, because it's something I feel like I'm not getting rehydrated until I've had cold beverages. The things that I can drink that are lukewarm, some of the sparkling ices, I can drink those kind of lukewarm. Other than that, I really can't do lukewarm beverages. Gatorade, maybe, depends on the Gatorade, but they say I need princess water. I need my ice water or anything that I drink to be cold. It is what it is. So anyways, things that are in the fridge, cold. One time I tried to cut up an onion or a pepper or something, froze my hands. I can't touch cold meat. It's hard to pour milk. It's hard to take dishes out of the refrigerator. So if you're ever at my house, I always have a set of gloves on top of my refrigerator. I normally have a set of gloves in my purse for, driving in the winter, for grocery shopping, for doing those things. The backup other pair of gloves that I keep are in my bedroom. So I try to always have gloves with me. And even cold water. So when I first started Folfox, I was trying to brush my teeth, and holy guacamole, hurt. The paper cut feeling against my lips, my hands, super cold, very numb and tingly. So the aversion to cold is probably one of the biggest side effects that people on Folfox face. Ones that I'm getting recently are blurred vision. I now don't know whether to contribute this to my age, but it has gradually gotten worse. Excuse me. So I had to go to the Dollar Tree and get some readers. And I had just bought 3 books before I started this treatment, and was super, super upset that I couldn't see the words in the books. And I put the books aside, and I decided to go get the readers. And when I bought the readers, I was so disgusted. I didn't even want to read the books anymore. So now I bought them via audiobooks. If I'm doing books, they're pretty much audio, because the eye thing stinks. Having to be like my mom in the distance challenge. Forward, back, forward, back. I have a little thinning here. It's probably, I don't know what you call these, the crow's peaks. But when my hair thins, or when I had my son, this is where I get the thinning. And you probably wouldn't be able to tell, but I can tell as I do my hair. Grateful, because I know a lot of people that completely lost their hair. So this little thinning thing, I'll just make it apart and nobody would know. The fatigue is probably the second. Another huge one that you deal with the Folfox. Lockjaw, I've had that maybe twice. Like you're biting into food or something in your mouth. It's just like the muscles in your mouth, and you're right in this area, just spasm or hurt. I got thrush, which was interesting. I just kept saying my mouth doesn't feel right, my mouth doesn't feel right. Everything that I'm eating tastes like metal or salt. And one day I just was in the car and decided to stick my tongue out and look, and everything was white. It looked like lamb skin, lamb's wool. And I was like, oh my goodness. So, that's kind of crazy. And then another huge one is neuropathy. Neuropathy, it feels like pins, numbling and tingling in your toes and in your fingers and sometimes in your tongue that just won't go away. So those have been some of the huger ones. Let's see. So for individuals that have intrahepatic or cholangiocarcinoma, period, it seems like if they don't do the resection or don't try to do the transplant, then the standard line of treatment is the Gemzar cisplatin, and then they move you to the Folfox. So a lot of people that I know, this is one of the higher sought out treatments. Side note, I did recently, I happened to be messing around on Facebook, and I saw this class, and I was like, that class sounds pretty interesting. Something about intimacy during cancer or something like that. But I was like, the Midwest Center of Cancer, and I was like, I've never heard of that. It's 3 blocks away from me. And one of the things that I've kind of struggled with lately is the doctor that I have now is an amazing doctor, and hats off to her. Super smart. She took my tumors before 2 boards before she decided to treat me so that she could understand exactly what it was and get multiple additional opinions. So I love that about her. She got me started on treatment and this whole cancer journey. My drawback is I don't believe that she specializes in my particular cancer, and so I am now kind of on the journey of getting some second opinions and getting somebody that specifically specializes in this particular cancer so that I may get closer to reduction and hopefully join the No Evidence Detected Club or the NED Club. Shout out to the mom who messaged me today about her son who has cholangiocarcinoma and that he is joining the No Evidence Discovered train. I'm rooting for you guys. Hang in there. I'm gonna join you one day, so save me a seat. It's so awesome when people get that report that they can't detect the cancer. And it means a lot to me also because, like I said in one of my other videos, I didn't necessarily start this for followers. I really just started this as a video journal to kind of get out what was in my mind and in my heart as I was going through this process. And it was if I could help another person who's going through it, who will be going through it, has been through it, or is caring for somebody that has it, or whatever the case may be, then I'm just grateful because that means that God is using me as a vessel. So super, super happy. But with that, I just want to share with you guys Delbert Aud on YouTube, and I'll put him down in the comments. He was a huge help as I was going through Folfox because he would record his treatment days, talk about how he felt, talk about, how the treatment felt throughout the week, any drawbacks, any symptoms that he really encountered, and then he would just talk about, the pump, how he dealt with the pump, how his wife dealt with the pump. And so I was really grateful because I was able to go, okay, we're on week 6, that's about 46 days in because he chronicled that. And then, okay, I should be feeling this. Okay, this is normal. Okay, this is a little different. Sometimes I might ask him about it. Sometimes I might ask my doctor about it, hey, I'm feeling this. Or things that I felt that was the same. I was like, okay, so I don't really have to worry about that, unless it stays longer than it should. But he was really awesome and very helpful. And so he's also in the NED Club. Congratulations. But I will definitely list his name at the bottom so you can check out some of his videos if you want to. I don't know that he got to 12. He might have gotten to 12. But the other thing that is awesome is I would listen to those videos so much that I would fall asleep with them on, and then my husband would listen to them, and then when I'm talking to him about something, he's like, oh yeah, just like Delbert, this is what happened when he did, this is day 47, and kind of like a show, day 47, episode 10, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, so I think the heat is starting to get to me. I'm still a bit fatigued, and I got a bit of nausea this time, so I am going to shut it down and go lay down. And again, thanks for kikiing with Shishi. I hope to see you all soon. Like I said last time, I got some video ideas in the hopper. I'm going to do one about natural hair and talk about curl patterns. Forgive me today, my curl pattern is flat and sleeping. But I want to talk about, not curl patterns, I'm sorry, curl creams and products to use to get a beautiful curl, because a lot of people, thank you Jesus, have commented about my curls, so I figured I would share what I'm using and give a little insight on that. But anyways, I'm going to bed now. Alright, love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay hydrated. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'm on my way to see my family. And I will talk to you all later.